Yo, what up, everybody? This is Mark from Suicide Silence.
And this is Brian Fair from Shadows Fall.
This is Trevor Sternad from the Black Dahlia Murder here.
Yo, this is Gary Hall from Exodus and recently retired from Slayer, and
Hello, this is Becky Boulder from Humble Grapple and Fury.
Hey, this is Charlie with Anthrax. I just want to give a shout out to Pedal to the Metal Radio, the podcast.
The podcast to get all your rock and metal news plus reviews.
Keep it metal. Pedal to the Metal Radio, motherfuckers!
What's up, metalheads? It's your main man, Eddie Monster here. Welcome to another exciting edition of Pedal to the Metal Radio, the podcast. That's right. This is episode 179. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Especially welcome to those of you that are actually seeing me now on Spotify and all the streaming apps, and to those watching on YouTube as well. Make sure if you're on the YouTube channel, you subscribe to the channel to stay up to date to not just the podcast, but to pretty much everything else we do on Pedal TV as well. Cool shit coming. All right, we've got a great episode, as I said, for all of you today. We have rock and metal news. We have the Unsigned Band of the Week. And we're going to talk about some things today. Yeah, last week was kind of a rough week. I don't know about you guys, but it was a rough week, especially if you're an entertainment fan of all sorts. Obviously, the big news being that Ozzy Osbourne passed away. I never thought in a million years that it was ever going to happen, but I also came to the realization that we were lucky to have Ozzy for all the years that we did. I mean, the amount of craziness this guy did in his lifetime is absolutely legendary, but I am grateful for all the years that Ozzy was able to entertain us, me included, whether it was through the Ozzfests, whether it was the Merry Mayhem Fest that I went to in 2001, whether it was the No More Tours 2 tour, whatever it may be. Ozzy, thank you so much. Obviously, you can watch my sort of rock and metal news Ozzy tribute edition that's on the YouTube channel. We are going to address some things on Ozzy, though, so stay tuned for that. Last week, we also lost one of the guys that's considered one of the greatest sports entertainers of all time. I won't use wrestling or sports itself alone, but sports entertainment. He was a controversial figure. However, last week we did lose potential Metallica bass player Hulk Hogan. That's right, Hulk Hogan apparently tried out for Metallica to play bass, but never made it, obviously. But yeah, Hulk Hogan passed away last week, and I have to say, 3-year-old to 11-year-old me would probably be sad. That little boy that once lived, as a kid, was definitely sad for Hulk Hogan passing away. Adult version of me obviously wasn't as hurt or impacted by his passing like that of Ozzy Osbourne's. Hulk Hogan was a very controversial figure, to say the least. Both in and out of more out of the ring than in the ring, but because in the ring it's all a work anyways. But, condolences to Hulk Hogan's family, obviously. I'm not trying to throw any shade at the family of Terry Bollea. It's not what I'm here to do. But again, the child in me would be very sad right now if you found out that Hulk Hogan passed away. Adult me, I'm, heartbroken, but not, as much as that of Ozzy's. There was a lot of deaths last week. Chuck Mangione, obviously passed away. There was Malcolm Jamal Warner from The Cosby Show, obviously passed away. So a lot of deaths last week. Makes you remember that we're not immortal after all, you know what I mean? And you start realizing when you're getting up there in age, these people were your heroes or people you watched on a regular basis on television, and now they're passing away. You're like, what's going on? Ugh, you know what I mean? So it is what it is, man. But obviously, there's a couple things that have been going on. If you follow me on Instagram or the Facebook page, you will definitely have seen this. I posted it on both of them. The links will be in the description below where you can check it out. But number one, Loudwire has set up a petition of sorts to have people sign to get a burrito named in honor of Ozzy Osbourne. I think that was pretty cool. I shared it. I was like, why not, dude? Fucking, I would eat it. You know, call it whatever you want. A bat burrito or whatever. But I would totally eat it. You know what I mean? And that would be cool. Then the other thing, too, that's also posted on there, and I want to take a look at this with you guys. So in Birmingham, on the day that I'm recording this podcast, there are people that are going in to sign the Book of Condolences for Ozzy Osbourne. And obviously, not all of us, including myself, can make it to Birmingham. So they also set up an online one that you can sign the Book of Condolences for Ozzy, which is pretty cool. So that's on the Instagram page as well. So if you want to check that out, it's on the Instagram page, and the Facebook page, of course, and on Twitter, and on Blue Sky. It's also there. But check this out. You can see these people lining up here. This is pretty cool. Going through the museum, which is doing this Ozzy exhibit right now, as you can see in the video. And yeah, just a long line. This isn't even the full video either. Okay. There's a whole video of all the people outside of this museum in Birmingham. And it's just nuts. I mean, look at this. This is just, it's a beautiful thing to see all the people that are impacted, no matter how old they are in this video. It's incredible. And there you go, them signing the book right there. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I figured I would share that with you guys. So if you want to sign it, go ahead. It's on that page. I don't know how long they're going to have it up for. Maybe they'll have it up for a while. I'm not completely too sure on that right now. Where do we go from here? I want to talk about something real quick. And I've talked about this plenty of times before. There's a whole episode where I did a theoretical Ozzfest, okay? And I did the theoretical Ozzfest lineup, right? Who I think would headline and so on and so forth, because I always said this, and Sharon, I doubt you're watching this or listening to this. It's fine. But if Sharon could see this, it'd be fantastic, okay? There's an opportunity to take some of the biggest bands that are out there, right, and mix them with a lot of the new talent that's out there. And there's an opportunity to bring back Ozzfest. And I always said you don't need Ozzfest with Ozzy. It doesn't have to be Ozzy, right? It's Ozzy's festival, and now is the chance to bring it back in honor of Ozzy, right? And every year we pay tribute to Ozzy by going to the Ozzfest. I mean, that is just a beautiful, beautiful idea and thing to be able to do for fans. And you could have a traveling museum with the Ozzfest going all the way throughout, showing people, you know, all cool stuff. I mean, they did it when Dimebag passed away. I remember Rita had this thing set up, you know, where it was Dimebag's guitars and all this different stuff. Why not for Ozzy, right? And you could have bands like Ghost headline in Ozzfest. You could have bands like, I don't know, Sleep Token on the Ozzfest, and all these bands that are coming up and are really establishing themselves as next level, right? And then you could have Youngblood playing Ozzfest. I mean, you're kind of hinting, Sharon, that Youngblood is the next Ozzy Osbourne, and why not give him a platform more than Ozzfest? And he's already said it. For the rest of his tour, he's going to be playing Changes at every single tour date, which I just think is freaking cool. So I'm pleading with Sharon, if somehow she could watch this, right? I am pleading with Sharon to bring back Ozzfest, to give fans a chance every year to never forget Ozzy and the beautifulness that he brought into this world through his music. It's fantastic. It's wants to bring tears to my eyes when I think about it. You know what I mean? This is a chance for us to never forget the legacy of Ozzy. Jack, Kelly, if you're out there watching this, please get this done. Get it out there so that all of us can pay tribute to Ozzy. You know, what more can I say about it? You know what I mean? So let's take a tiny little break. When we come back, rock and metal news on the way.
It's time for rock and metal news, presented by Eddie Monster.
All right, rock and metal news time, everybody. So exciting. But we have Ozzy news to go through right now. So Vinny Appice, or Vinny Appice, whichever the brothers are calling themselves these days, was recently in the news because he had something relatively good to say about something that we thought was going on for a very, very long time. And that is, for a long time, we thought there was a feud between Ozzy and Ronnie James Dio, right? Obviously, Ozzy was the singer of Black Sabbath until 1979 or 1980, something like that. And then Ronnie James Dio became the new Black Sabbath singer. And then obviously we found out, you know, when it came to Live Aid, that Ronnie was upset, and I believe that's why he quit Black Sabbath, if memory serves me correct, was because they brought Ozzy back for Live Aid. But whatever the case may be, we've been led to believe that there's been this rivalry between the two, that they didn't like each other, and apparently it's quite the opposite, right? Vinny Appice told Eddie Trunk on Trunk Nation that there's no drama between Dio and Ozzy. And according to him, Ozzy constantly always had high praise for Ronnie and everything that Ronnie had done musically, right? Apparently, there's a picture, according to Vinny, there is a picture somewhere that shows Ozzy and Ronnie backstage chilling out, just talking to each other. I wish I could see that picture because it would just bring clarity to all of this. And we're hearing these stories everywhere, and of course, all these stories are going to come out. There's this one website, I'm not going to name who, that is trying to claim that Motley Crue is the band that Sharon took off. Remember, there was that whole story that Sharon Osbourne had somebody originally and then booted him out. Well, the story, to me, doesn't make sense. Because, one, she claimed it was about money, and she claimed it was something with a manager. This story is claiming it's this long-running feud between Vince Neil and Sharon Osbourne over Vince's comments that he made in his book Tattoos and Tequila, where he criticized Sharon for constantly being on top of the boys when they were touring with Ozzy back in 1984. Well, I don't know how that makes sense because Motley Crue played Ozzfest 2010. I would think she was pretty over that. Unless, I don't remember when the book came out, so I don't know the correlation of it. But I just don't believe the story because even Nikki went on and said, we weren't there because there's members that are sick. And apparently that is something that's true. I'm hearing something along the lines that there is something going on with Vince and him vocally. I can't confirm it, so don't take my word for it at the moment. But when we find out more, obviously, we're going to let all of you know exactly what is going on with that. But I just don't, unless I hear it from Sharon, because I know Sharon promised that she was going to unveil who the band was, and I'd be very shocked if it was Motley Crue. I don't think it was. I think it was somebody else, to be perfectly honest. People are speculating that it could be Megadeth, but who knows? But those are some of the stories you're going to start seeing online that are going to pop up everywhere now that Ozzy has passed away, because Ozzy's not here to defend himself anymore. You know what I mean? So unfortunately. And other news related to this. Now, I know people are going to lose their heads over this. There's going to be things that are going to be said. I just have that feeling. If I'm thinking that somebody's going to say it, then there's somebody out there that is probably going to say it. Pantera has announced that they're going to be canceling some tour dates and rescheduling other tour dates. And the band has released a statement. That's right. Ozzy wasn't just a legend who shaped the very foundation of heavy metal, inspired Pantera from the beginning. He was family, a mentor, a brother, and a constant presence in our lives, both on and off the stage. The bond we shared with him ran far deeper than music. In light of this profound loss, we need time and space to grieve, to be with our families, our crew, and each other as we process and honor the life of someone who meant so much to us. Out of respect, and to allow members of our team the time to mourn, we will be rescheduling the following shows. July 28th, Saratoga Springs will now be Tuesday, September 9th, and July 31st in Homedale, New Jersey will now be Monday, September 8th. Due to the above, the following dates will be canceled. If you purchased your tickets through Ticketmaster, refunds will be issued automatically. There is nothing further ticket holders need to do. If you purchased from a third-party reseller, like StubHub, SeatGeek, Vivid Seats, etc., please reach out to your point of purchase. And those canceled tour dates are July 29th in Guilford, New Hampshire, September 8th in Birmingham, Alabama, and September 10th in Virginia Beach, Virginia. We appreciate your understanding during this difficult time. I just have that feeling that there's going to be people out there that are going to say, oh, what the heck, they can't get it together, that they can't tour these tour dates. Let's pump the brakes, first of all, on all of that. They should be given time to mourn, especially Zach. You got to remember something here. Who is the man that gave Zach his big break? Who got Zach into the music scene that is what it is and has made him the legend that he is? That's right, Ozzy Osbourne. Say it again with me. Real loud and real proud, like true metalheads. Ozzy Osbourne. So, can I blame somebody who spent, think about it. Yeah, it was the late 80s, like 88 when he came in, but if you take it the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, and the 2025s, that's almost 5 decades with somebody. It's incredible. They've been in the same band for 5 decades. Zach is the longest tenured member of Ozzy's solo band, so I don't blame Zach for taking the time he needs, and God bless him. And God bless all of Pantera. How many times did Pantera tour with Ozzy? Plenty of times. All those Ozzfests, etc., etc. So I don't blame any of them. You know what I mean? Especially Charlie Benante. With Anthrax, there's plenty of pictures if you look on their Instagram page of Ozzy with Anthrax. So this is huge, dude. This is a huge loss, and you've seen it. All the tributes that are online, those from just about everybody. Cyndi Lauper to you name it, have been paying tribute to Ozzy live. It's the most beautiful thing. Something that is not beautiful, something that has been such kind of an ugly situation, to say the least, was what happened to Laura Jane Grace of Against Me that we reported on last week. That's right. If you were with us last week on episode 178, then I reported on this story about Laura Jane Grace, who apparently was being accused of spousal abuse by her wife, Paris Campbell. Or Paris... By Paris Campbell Grace, right? So let's see, because I knew this was going to happen too. You had to believe that Laura was eventually going to respond to all of this, right? And she's left her own statement. I would like to acknowledge my fault here and take responsibility for my mistakes. Anyone who's been paying attention can see clear as day that this has been a toxic, codependent relationship from the start. It was reckless of me to get married so quickly, and I made a lot of poor decisions where I absolutely should have known better. My poor decisions have impacted my kid, my band, and my community. I hold myself accountable for it and sincerely apologize. Now, you can go online and you can go to Metal Injection. They've got the whole, I mean, it is 19 pages of text that is sitting there. If you want to read it, she responds to every single thing. And I'm just going to be honest with you. I hate reading long articles that is about somebody just, whatever. If you want to read it, go right ahead. It's up there. The more the merrier. You'll be doing my job for me. Thank you very much. And I would like to move on because, it is what it is. Right now, we actually don't know. I'm going to be honest about this part. We actually don't know if there's any actual case. We don't know what's going on with this. All we know is one side said something and the other side is saying something. And right now it's she said, she said. So to be honest, it's like we don't know if charges have been filed. We don't know if they're going to court. We just don't know anything. So until we do, for me, that was about as much as I wanted to report about it. You know what I'm saying? Was saying, okay, she responded. Here's what she responded with. Let's move on. That's right, because we've got more news for all of you. Another favorite part of segment of mine is we're going to get into it is new releases. That's right, new releases. And Sabaton have unveiled their upcoming 11th album called Legends. That's right, it's coming out October 17th via Better Noise Music. And you can expect 11 different stories within these tracks that date back. Apparently now they're going further back in time, and it's going to be taking place a lot of the stories during the Middle Ages and things of that nature. And as we speak, you can check out The Duelist and Lightning at the Gates. Those songs are available online as we speak. Despised Icon have announced their 7th studio album. That's right, Shadow Work, which comes out October 31st on Halloween of all days via Nuclear Blast. And it's their first since 2019's Purgatory. So make sure you check that out for sure. Love Despised Icon. Eternal Darkness. This is kind of a strange one for me, right? Because here's a band that's been around for 35 years, okay, without ever releasing an album. They had demos that were sort of released and things of that nature, but they've never had anything really come to fruition and be put out. And finally, they just come out with this new record, and it's their debut, self-titled, and the band is breaking up. That's right, they're calling it quits. The album was recorded apparently between 2014 and 2019. They finally have unleashed it, but unfortunately, the band is calling it quits. So check it out. Heard it's pretty freaking fantastic. And it's kind of a shame that they're going to be calling it quits, but it happens. Slipknot. Hot news on Slipknot and a new release. It quickly sold out. Then they unveiled that they were going to put out more, and that quickly sold out. But on September 5th, Slipknot is releasing the 25th anniversary of their first record, the debut album, which is going to feature a blood-splattered 6 LP box set, a regular 2 LP box set, and a 2 CD box set. And I can gladly tell you right now that the 6 blood-splattered LP is sold out, the 2 LP is sold out, and all that's left is the CD. So make sure you go to Slipknot if you want to get that right now. My potential 2025 Rookies of the Year have finally announced their debut album. That's right, their potential Rookies of the Year. As I said it, That is Ritual Mass. The Pittsburgh death metalers have announced their new album, Cascading Misery, which is coming out September 5th via $20 spin. It's going to be awesome. These guys are just fucking incredible. Make sure you check it out. And then finally, at the end of our new releases, Tombs has announced their new album called Feral Darkness, which comes out October 17th via Defending Darkness Records. The title track is out now as we speak, and it offers a glimpse in what could only be called like haunting and quite possibly their most expansive record that this band has ever done. So make sure you check out what Tombs is offering. It's going to be incredible. All right, and right now we've got some tour news, which I also love doing. And Reba Myers, who I've said from day one when I first heard Code Orange and like really checked them out, I said she was going to be a star. And sure enough, that is what she's turning into. Well, she hits the road in 2 weeks' time. That's right, August 12th. She kicks off the tour in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and then it ends August 25th in San Jose, California. It's only a few, like 6 tour dates or something, so it's not a lot. Krisiun have announced a tour where they will play Conquerors of Armageddon in its entirety. It's the band's milestone record from the year 2000. That's right, 25 years of this. The tour kicks off on November 1st in Camden, Connecticut when they play the Space Ballroom, and it ends December 1st when they play Clifton, New Jersey, Dingbats. So make sure you go and check it out. Genocide Pact, Prong, Thrown into Exile, and Heraclean. If I mess up your band's names, I'm terribly sorry. We'll join Cavalera on their Chaos AD tour. That's right, the band is celebrating Chaos AD, which is one of my favorite friggin' Sepultura records. So make sure you check out Cavalera. That tour is going to kick off September 18th in Louisville, Kentucky, and it goes all the way until October 18th when they play Dallas, Texas. Seven Dust have announced a 21st anniversary tour of Southside Double Wide. So the band is going to be playing acoustic, and that tour kicks off November 14th in Columbia, Missouri, and it ends on December 12th in San Antonio, Texas. Death to All have announced the Symbolic Healing Tour, which celebrates Death's spiritual healing and symbolic. And the tour kicks off November 4th in San Diego, California, and it ends November 30th in San Francisco, California. But believe me, they make it around the states in really good time. So make sure you go and check out that tour. It should be fucking awesome. Deftones have officially announced the Dia de los Deftones 2025, which is going to be at Petco Park in San Diego, California on November 1st. And it's also going to feature Clips, Death Haven, Rico Nasty, Glare, and much, much more. I'm going to try to see if I can make it out to this one and do some reporting on it. We'll see. And then lastly, Decibel Magazine have announced their Decibel Mag Metal in Beer Fest Denver 2025 with Acid Bath, Blood Incantation, I Hate God, Dead Guy, Conan, the Red Chord, and so much more spread over 3 days. That's right, December 4th, 5th, and the 6th at the Fillmore Auditorium in Denver. Make sure you are fucking there. And now it is time for one of my I shouldn't say new segments. A segment that I always love doing since the very beginning, 5 years ago. That's right, I'm talking about the Unsigned Band of the Week. All right, and that band that we chose for this week's Unsigned Band of the Week, we've had them on the podcast before. That's right, back on episode 128, we had Sweden's own Horse of Troja, and we're proud to have them back on the show once again. Make sure you check them out at their website, their Facebook page, everything that these guys have. They are fantastic. I love having them on, and I'm happy to have them on the show. That's right. They've got brand new music that they're putting out all the time, and we've got one track for you guys today today is your lucky day, because here's Horse of Troja, and this is their track Speed Freak. Again, I want to thank all of you for tuning in to Pedal to the Metal Radio, the podcast. I appreciate all of you. And to close us out, here's Horse of Troja.